Good evening. I'd like to call the City of Twinsburg regular council meeting for September 12th, 2023. The time is 7:34, and we are at the Twinsburg Government Center Council Chamber. Shannon, please call the roll, please.
Mrs. Walker?
Present?
Mrs. Labby?
Yeah.
Mr.
Here.
Post?
Present, here.
Mr. Bellin?
Here.
Mr. Deeds?
Here.
Mr. Barr? Mr. Fury?
Okay. Invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Mrs. Labby?
Father, we seek your guidance for the business that is before us. In planning for the future of the city of Twinsburg, give us vision. Guide us to make decisions that are not self-serving, but for the betterment of our community, so we can continue to move in a positive direction. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting on August 22nd, 2023. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of the regular council meeting on August 22nd?
So if I may, we just got these tonight. I did not see, were they on the email?
They were not.
They were not?
No.
So I just got these tonight, so I would like to maybe approve the minutes next meeting so I can have a chance to read them, only because I mean, we can vote for it, but I'll abstain because I've not read them, and so I don't want to vote on something that I haven't had a chance to look at.
Mr. Vazana, would you be okay if we skipped over the meeting minutes until next meeting?
Yes, that would be okay.
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 I'd be okay with that as well.
I did not read them as well.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Okay.
So we're on number 4 now?
Do I need to make a motion, or no?
No, not with the minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
we're
you.
on number 4.
We'll just
Okay,
have multiple sets of minutes you can go through at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sounds good. Are there any presentations this evening?
There are none.
Okay. Do we have any audience participation?
We do. We have one. Jonah Pachette?
So, good evening, council, mayor, and directors.
If you could just state your name
Jonah
and address.
Pichette, 11146 Heritage Drive.
Thank you.
So I want to give a quick update on the Environmental Commission meeting from last Tuesday. It was our first time meeting since, I think, May. So I want to give that quick update with you guys. I'll keep it, brief, short, all of that, even though it was a very productive meeting. So as this was our first meeting back since, I believe, May, we kind of discussed some of the things we had done in that off season, one of which was a wastewater treatment plant tour. Many of our members on the commission did tour the wastewater treatment plant. So we kind of updated those who were not able to attend, explained the process to them. We shared some information that Nate had handed out. Overall, I felt the impression was very impressive, or the commission members felt very impressed with what Nate does and what his crew does over there at the wastewater treatment plant. We wanted to leave you guys with a couple in the city with a couple updates and a couple points, just as a friendly reminder. Flushable wipes, even if they say flushable, they're not flushable. A lot of manpower, a lot of time, a lot of energy is spent cleaning them out of the wastewater process. They can cause some problems on your end at your home if you do flush those. And so that's something we wanted to leave a note there, conversation we had at the commission meeting. So I wanted to make that note for you guys. Just a couple other quick kind of notes. The e-waste, or the public library here in Twinsburg, is holding an e-waste recycling event on the 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And so this is really great to see because it's another way to recycle kind of those old computers you might have, some of those old electronics. And so again, that's the 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Summit Reworks, they're the hazardous waste collection on Graham Road, 1201 Graham Road in Stowe. They are going to be ending their collection September 28th. So if you guys have like old oil-based paint, batteries, cleaners, pesticides that you're looking to dispose of, you could go to that Summit Reworks hazardous waste collection on September 28th. Kind of my last bullet point, or last 2 bullet points, the commission, we were kind of talking and discussing the residential and business recognition program that we hope to roll out to better promote the idea and purpose of the Environmental Commission. We're hoping to iron out some of those details over our next few meetings. And I'm sure you'll continue to hear updates on that. And my final thing, I'm a big fan of our parks here, getting outdoors, hiking, all that fun stuff. Summit Metro Parks actually just started their 60th annual fall hiking spree. I mention this here because Liberty Park is one of those designated places you could go hike. If you go and hike and complete 8 hikes between September 1st and November 30th, you could actually receive a walking stick and like a 60th shield for that walking stick if you're a Summit County resident. So I'd like to mention that because it's great to get outdoors and great to, enjoy our parks. And so that is all I have. Like I said, really quick with that. But if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you guys.
Jonah, how do you go
Thank
about signing up for that?
For the
the-
spree for all, or the fall hike. So you could sign up at summitmetroparks.org/spree-all. And that'll kind of allow you to sign up, or you could actually go to the Liberty Park, or you could go to the Liberty Park Nature Center and they could sign you up there.
Okay, that's
Or
what
if you
I was
Google like Summit Metro Parks Fall Hiking Spree, it should pop up with like a participation form that you could access there.
Great,
And you could
sounds
redeem
great.
your rewards and all of that there. Okay?
Great.
Great, thank you.
All right?
Thank
Thank you guys,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you.
That's all we have this evening.
Okay, all right, thank you. Moving on to council communications and committee reports. Mr. Deeds.
Hello, President Walker. How are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. I do have a couple things here. I was present at the Board of Building and Zoning Appeals meeting on August 23rd, where appeal number 02-2023 was heard for a variance at 9879 Shepherd Road. In simple terms, there was a variance heard to take 2 lots, one that was conforming, one that was not. The one was a much smaller lot. Combine them and then resplit them into 2. We took a big lot and a little lot. We put them together and then resplit them into 2 medium-sized lots, which are a little bit smaller than what was allowed. I will say this: I think the board did a great job reviewing all aspects of this appeal. They looked at this upside down, inside out, via all angles, and I think at the end of the day, they made the right decision. And I think they did a very good job on it, and I want to commend them on it because it was a really thorough conversation by the board. I was at the Jedi meeting last night, and I'd like to mention that there's going to be an upcoming free movie night that we're planning. It's going to be at the high school sometime this winter. We don't have a movie yet, and we don't have a date, but the idea is to have an event that would be a free movie night where we could have the high school kids get community service hours by making popcorn, serving drinks, and then really bring people together of all races, colors, cultures together in one spot for a free fun night in the middle of the winter. I'm guessing we're going to have this in January, but we don't have a date yet, so wait for more on this one. But it was, I think it'll be a great event. And then last, I would like to shout out to the Twinsburg High School students that put together the beautiful memorial across the street for 9/11. They really did a nice job, and it was just it was a great touch for those of us that remember that day. Very, very classy thing that they put together, and I'd like to just a shout out to them. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deeds. Okay, Mr. Bellin.
Thank you. Good evening. The Capital Improvements Board met this evening. I just want to thank the members of that board for the work that they've done and continue to do, as well as the department heads that come in and present. It is a vital part of the budgeting process throughout the year, and it is very much appreciated. The next meeting of the Finance Committee will be a combined meeting with the CIB, and it will be on Tuesday, September 26th, I believe at 6 p.m. here in Council Chambers. The next Public Works meeting will be on Tuesday, October 10th at 6 p.m. here in Council Chambers. And the next meeting of the Safety Committee will be on November 14th at 6 p.m. also here in Council Chambers. Work on the zoning code continues. The zoning code working group will meet tomorrow, September 13th. They will be preparing for the second public open house, which will be held on Wednesday, October 4th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Twinsburg Community Center in the multipurpose room. To learn more about the zoning code updates, please visit togethertwinsburg.com and scroll to the featured projects section. And that concludes my report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bellin. Mr. Post?
Thank you. None of my committees have met, but the next Planning Commission meeting is on September 28th. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Post. Mrs. Labby?
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. The ARB met September 7th. The following cases were approved: 230944, Twin Mass Performing Center to approve new signs. 230945, a home addition at 1790 Sunview Drive. 230946, Jasmine Beauty, 2569 East Aurora Road, had two signs approved. 230947, Bins to Bargains at 10735 Ravenna Road, had a new sign approved. The next meeting of ARB will be September 21st at 6 p.m. I also attended the Jedi meeting last night. The Jedi will be setting up a booth at the Safety Forces Open House on October 11th from 5:30 to 8. The next meeting of the Jedi is October 9th at 6 p.m. CIC will meet Thursday, September 21st at 5 p.m. And in the Parks and Recs Department, their third Family Fall Fest will be October 28th from 12 to 3 at Glen Chamberlain Park. The Senior Center will be celebrating 20 years, Saturday the 16th from 11 to 1. And you can register now if you're a senior for senior snowplow. Registration is open through November 30th. The next meeting of Parks and Rec will be October 26th. I did attend the capital improvement meeting tonight because I just like to see what's going on. It's such a big job to have to condense everything that they appear to be wants, but they're really all needs at the end of the day for all of the departments. So it's quite a job for them to condense what they want. So that's all for me today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Labby. Yeah, I did attend the Jedi meeting yesterday. It was a great meeting, and Mr. Deeds gave a great report on that. As far as the Environmental Commission meeting, this young man was at the meeting. I can't think of your name right now, but he gave a great report for the Environmental Commission.
Jonah.
I do appreciate it. Jonah. Sorry about that. And Community Relations, we have not met. I think we'll be meeting this coming Thursday. So that's all I have. And now, Mayor Scafidi.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Good evening, everybody. Nice to be back. Seems like we've been gone for a while again.
It does.
Doesn't it? Yeah, I think we had a 3-weeker in between, I believe. Anyway, my report is, I just have a couple things. I attended the fire department golf outing on the 25th, and boy, what a great job that they did. I think a good time was had by everybody, and we had a great foursome. We didn't win anything, but that was probably my fault. But it was a good time, and just a shout out to all those guys that put that together, because that's a lot of work. So thank you to our fire department for doing that. All right, a couple, as you know, I like to tell everybody about the business visits that we make, Rebecca and I make. And so we were able to get 2 in these last 3 weeks. First of all, we went to the Innovative Food Service. Okay, Innovative Food Service is owned by a gentleman named Thomas Lane. Okay, and we met with him and Vice President Troy Hill. Tom Lane, as some of you know, owned some property in town at one time, but also they own an establishment called Red's Catering up on Darrow Road. And that's on the south end of the city there. And that was in 2002. And then he began, supplying healthy homemade foods, meals, and snacks to local daycares and centers. In 2008, his business expanded into what's called today innovative food service that broadened the reach into school districts, summer meal programs, senior centers, and daycare centers. They deliver meals now to 60 locations throughout Ohio. And so we got to go in there and see the process and everything that he does. And it's really amazing. And boy, I was tempted to take something off that line that they were packing because it all looked good and it smelled good. But of course we didn't. And we were wearing hairnets and, they were very safe with us. So, but it's really a nice facility. And they're renovating now. They have an 11,000 square foot warehouse space, and so they're renovating that space, and they're bringing in a new machine called the hydro pressure and pack machine, which will extend the freshness of the food 4 times past what the current expiration dates. So that's really an innovation and a costly piece of equipment, but they're investing in it, and it's going to allow them to ship meals now throughout the country. So they're really excited about that. And then more recently, they opened up the New Adventures Early Learning and Child Development Center, and that's on Darrow Road as well, on the south end of town. So that's one of our newer daycares, or probably our newest one. But so they do a great job, and they're invested in the community, and it was nice to be able to sit with them and talk with them and meet them and see everything that's going on in their business. The next business that we visited is the Rittenauer Group. They're on Case Parkway. We met with Mike and Karen Rittenauer. They're both the principals there. Their business was founded in 1960 as a small paint and decorating company. And Lou Rittenauer, the father, was the director. Over the past several decades, the Rittenauer Group has evolved and expanded into the commercial and industrial marketing services, servicing customers throughout Northeast Ohio. Their services include selective demolition, specialized floor preparation, restoration, all interior finishes, and glass and glazing. They work really close with Geist Construction. They do a lot of their work, and basically what it is, if Geist or somebody has a building that's going up and they need one of the trades inside this building, they call the Rittenauer Group and they could provide that trade for them. So, they're doing very well. Their revenues are way up, and they have a really nice place, and they're in the process also of expanding their location. So, they're doing well and they're growing, and it's just so nice to be able to sit and look at these facilities. And I got to be honest with you, I've never seen a cleaner place in my life. This place is like spotless. So they're spot on with everything, and they're real particular, from their landscaping outside to their building to everything in their warehouse and their staff. I mean, it's really a nice facility. So again, I love to tout the nice businesses that Twinsburg has here, right in our community, that provide a lot of things all over the country, and I think we should be really proud of that. Last but not least is finally Pet Suites. That's the new Pet Suites, which is on Darrow Road again, on that south end of town. They are having a ribbon cutting tomorrow at 12 noon, so if anybody's interested, if you can, stop out. I'm sure that they'd love to see some people there. The chamber does a really good job when they put those together, and they try to get as many people out as they can, so I thought I'd throw that out here tonight, and if anybody's interested, stop out at 12 o'clock. Other than that, that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Do you have any department?
We have one, I think, Keith is going to give a report, right? Nate, you get one too? Okay, then it'll be Nate, and then Christina. She has nothing. So go ahead, Keith. Yep.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Madam President, Council, Mayor. I just wanted to bring forward just our monthly report and to share some of the current information we're dealing with. Our building permit fees we collected, both residential and commercial, totaled $18,993.69. Our total valuation of construction, which I don't know if it included the Lou Rittenauer space, but that happened this last month. On this report, I think it's in there, $2,360,054.52. Certificate of occupancies issued, 26. Total license fees collected, $2,250. Sewer improvement fees, we had none for the month of August. Monthly point of sales totaled 9. A year-to-date point of sales totaled 87. Monthly housing violations actions were 12 for August, and our year-to-date housing violations were at 217. Counter activity, we've been kind of monitoring that this summer. The amount of people that are obviously interacting with us at the counter since we started our new online permitting. In July, we had 185 visits, and in August, we had 144 visits. So we're still pretty active. Some of the highlighted things, you probably heard some things mentioned about this as well. 9392 Ravenna Road, which probably rings to everybody's ears as the Blue Top. We issued the certificate of transfer. I know the mayor's talked about it. We're really happy that this has happened because it's been a 2.5-year process to get this where it is. And I think the new property owners got some plans for it, which will help remove the blight that exists at that spot. So that's huge for me anyways, personally. At 2600 East Aurora Road, there was a auctioned property. I'm sure you may have seen the sign. This is just east of the DeVita. That property actually sold, so we're hoping that's going to move forward with some changes for the better as well. And today I was out at 27 East 100 Aurora Road, where the University Hospitals is opening a new urgent care center, which we issued a temporary certificate of occupancy. I would imagine they're going to have a grand opening here pretty soon. You'll probably hear about it. It's a beautiful facility right there by Starbucks. So that concludes my report. If anybody has any questions.
Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Nate. Okay, Nate.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
Mayor.
Good evening.
It's good to see you guys. I haven't seen you since summer break. This is the first one I've been back to.
Welcome home.
So I wanted to provide an update on the status of our plant design. So two things. This week I'll be submitting an updated OWDA WPCLF nomination form now. We did that last year as part of the design, but we are going to have to put this, submit this as a placeholder for the construction funds next year. The application process won't happen until the second quarter of next year. So we will move forward with putting that placeholder in now. There's a due date at the end of the month, so we have to have that in. Part of the application process, the wastewater department is going to be performing a sewer rate study. That is a mandatory portion of that application process. Just it helps aid show that the city itself can fund these improvements with it. As the design phase progress, over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be very busy. We're meeting with 6 different vendors, 3 for tertiary and 3 for UV, that are going to be visiting the plant to thoroughly go through the options that they offer. We've been selective with specific vendors that are going to meet the needs of the facility. So this is the next step to meet the 30% goal for October. Lastly, I just wanted to provide some general information, some statistics, as my wastewater city occupancy internship ended in August. Abby Latea worked on the project from May 30th to August 11th, roughly 30 hours a week throughout the summer. We had set 25 main roads as a priority that would have a significant impact in updating our data collection. She was able to complete 14 of the roads out of the 25. So that's visiting all businesses that are located on those. She hand-delivered 229 business information update questionnaires. We personally have received 34.5 of them that are completed 100%. There are other percentages that we have to follow up with the individual businesses. Out of that 229, she was able to perform 108 fixture count updates, which is a very important process for sewer billing to make sure that our bills are accurately charged. But overall, I think that the program went really well this summer. The information was not only helpful to myself, but to the police, fire department, for the building department, and the economic developer. It seemed that the businesses received Abby well, which was a very important thing to the mayor and myself when we brought her in. I just want to take the opportunity to say thank you, Abby, even though I told her thank you when she was done. She did a fantastic job, and I really hope that we can have her back next summer. And that's my report.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks, Nate. And that's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, thank you. Now we're at number 9, legislation. Ordinance 88, 2023.
An ordinance accepting the amount and rate as determined by the Summit County Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county fiscal officer and declaring an emergency.
Ordinance 88, 2023 now stands on its second reading. Ordinance 89, 2023.
An ordinance authorizing the advancement of local taxes from the Summit County Fiscal Officer for the tax year 2023 payable in 2024 in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code, Section 321.34, and declaring an emergency.
Ordinance 89, 2023 now stands on its second reading. Ordinance 92, 2023.
An ordinance amending the current year appropriations for the general revenue account as established in Ordinance 28, 2023, the appropriation ordinance for the City of Twinsburg for the year 2023, and reflecting grant funding received for the bank stabilization and sanitary repair project and declaring an emergency.
Ordinance 92, 2023 now stands on its second reading. Ordinance 95, 2023.
An ordinance amending the composition of the Special Review Committee known as the Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee.
Ordinance 95, 2023 now stands on its second reading. We're now at number 10, unfinished business, new business, and miscellaneous. Mr. Deeds.
Nothing at the time. I would just like to ask in the back room, Sue, anything on Mr. Thews? Is he all right?
He's checked out, he's home resting, and he was on the phone with his cardiologist.
Okay.
So as far as we know, he's good.
Thank
We
you.
wish him well.
Thank you.
That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Bellin.
Yeah, so Mr. Deeds earlier mentioned that yesterday was the 22nd anniversary of the attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. My wife and I were living in Washington, D.C., about 3 miles as the crow flies from the Pentagon that morning. And I won't rehash my thoughts on that, but I wanted to read something that I ran across today that I believe is relevant today, even 22 years later. I miss 9/12. I would never ever want another 9/11, but I miss America of 9/12. Stores ran out of flags to sell because they were being flown everywhere. People were Americans before they were upper or lower class, Jewish or Christian, Republican or Democrat. We hugged people without caring if they ate at Chick-fil-A or wore Nikes. On 9/12, what mattered more was what united us versus what divided us. On that note, nothing further.
Thank you. Very good. Mr. Post.
Well, thank you. Just a couple things. First off, I'd like to say happy birthday to my mother, who turns 80 today. So happy birthday, Mom. Very exciting. I know.
Yes.
Had all my classes call her and say happy birthday today. And they sang to her. I'd also like to wish everybody Shana Tova. This Friday night is Rosh Hashanah, and I will be at services, and it's the year 5783 on the Jewish calendar. So Rosh Hashanah, if you're not sure, that is the Jewish New Year. It's the new year for the Jewish calendar. So we'll be entering into the year 5784, and that number is significant because that's, according to that calendar, is when the time of creation was. So that is Rosh Hashanah. So Shana Tova, everybody. That means Happy New Year.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Mrs. Labby.
I wanted to give the mayor and the service department a shout out for responding so quickly, well, to my request and to others, to have branch tipping earlier after the recent storm blew in. I know my neighborhood was hit pretty bad. The service department was out collecting branches, taking down trees, and that was significant. I mean, there was a lot of damage up in, all around the city, so appreciate that. And then a little shout out to our little law director at the end there, birthday yesterday, so he's still a baby, but but we would like to wish him a happy birthday, and he's on fire right now, so we're glad to have him.
It's on fire. All right.
Happy
Mr.
birthday.
Mayor?
Thank you.
Yeah, I just have one thing. I really do need to mention the service department. They did go out there, and we did do a special round of pickup the week right after the storm. And then our regular pickup started the day after Labor Day. And they're still out there. I mean, we got the hard-hit areas first that we went and picked up, and they brought in several loads of branch chippings. But also, we're still out there doing the first round, because even in other areas that weren't hard hit, there are a lot of branches out there. And I know we're getting complaints sometimes from frustrated residents that are calling, their grass is dying and so forth. But believe me when I tell you, they're out there every single day. We've got 2 crews out there. They're doing their best to get through the community. We even okayed them to work 8 hours overtime on Saturday. We had 2 crews out. We're trying our best to get all these branches and so on and so forth, all the debris off of the tree lawns there and into these chippers so we could take them away and start over fresh next month. So be patient with them. Be patient with us. They're doing their best that they can to get these branches off the tree lawns. And then another shout out I forgot to give was to our police department and our police chief. We've had complaints here, several complaints about speeding throughout the city, and especially on Glenwood Drive, especially on the section most recently between Darrow Road and Liberty Road, where there had been a few accidents. I might note none of which were caused by speeders. It was more personal error than speeding. But, we put out a special alert there. We had them hang strictly enforced signs under all the speed limit signs there, the couple speed limit signs in that section. They've been going, Glenwood's been getting attention at least every hour on the hour by a patrol car. And the first weekend we did this, there was over 50 stops that weekend in that section of roadway. Now, to mind you, not everybody got tickets. It wasn't a money grab, but about 9 out of those 50 got tickets. Most of those were warnings, depending on what was on their license already. If they, or they're constant, offenders, then they were getting a ticket. There was no doubt about it. But, there was like a zero tolerance in the whole thing. And we began to do that throughout the city now, and some of the other areas, like in Lake Plata, and some of the areas that we've been getting complaints with. The chief sat down with his officers there and decided to make this a regular thing, to put on a third zone, and that third zone is for speed control, and that's what we're doing right now. And I know that it's slowed down some of the people, and hopefully they're going to learn their lesson and follow the speed signs. This is no place to speed through. I don't want to make it like a speed trap area. I don't want to become that, but I want them to know that we're watching and we're going to be out there, and you're going to get cited if you're breaking the law. So I hope that helps. I've had some emails from some of the residents that were very concerned about it, and they've seen it happen, and they're very happy with it too. So I think they're doing their best to make sure that we control speed throughout the city. And that's it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Law Director, do you have anything to say?
I have nothing else to add tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We're at number 11, excuse absent members. I would like to make a motion to excuse Mr. Fury and Mr. Barr. Can I get a second?
I will second.
Mrs. Labby, second. Shannon, please call the roll.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mrs. Labby?
Yes.
Mr. Post?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Mr. Deeds?
Yes.
All right, it's 8:08. I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at oh, wait. Do I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Mr. Bellin, second. Shannon, please call the roll.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Mr. Post?
Yes.
Mr. Deeds?
Yes.
Mrs. Labby?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes, however many people we have, 5 at 8 PM. All right.